Welcome to another episode of Objective Bias featuring yours truly. And I have a special guest with me today, Danisha, aka Miss D, a special friend of mine and colleague. How are you feeling today? How was your how's your evening going?
I feel great actually. Once I got done with my main work, I am the Energizer Bunny, so I'm good now.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you definitely are. Before we jump into what we are doing, just for the viewers out there, please like and subscribe to this pod, Objective Bias, and I hope you enjoy this episode with Miss D. Now, Miss D is a individual with multiple talents, multiple businesses, streams of revenue. But the main thing that we're going to speak about today is her venture with Bedroom Candy. Now, if you're not aware, that is a line that was established by, is it Candy, is it Burgess or Burris?
Burris.
Burris.
Can't
I don't know why I wanted to keep saying Burgess, but Miss Candy Burris, my bad, Miss Candy, if you come across this episode, you know what I mean? I still fuck with you, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, the from what I was reading, as far as the mission or the objective of this line, it's really a line that's centered around sexual enhancement, of course, as far as with your partner, um, bringing together relationships, and also what a lot of people don't know is about self care as well. So Ms. D, do you care to expound on that mission or the objective of the line that you're a part of?
Of course. So you're right. It is focused around everything that you just named. The biggest thing with it is the self-care products. Most people hear bedroom candy or they see it, from the housewives, and they automatically think that it's everything sexual.
Oh yeah, I'm
Um,
one of those people when I first heard it. So yeah, I had to do my homework a little bit.
Yeah, but in actuality, it is more than just sex toys, and that's where a lot of people are not understanding or knowledgeable of that, and that's where we come in, the bedroom candy consultants, to educate you on that portion. What I like to do when it comes to my parties with bedroom candy is the first thing that I lead off is with our self care, right? Because if you feel good from the inside, from the outside, you smell good, taking care of yourself, that's a big part of intimacy, which most people, they don't really know. They don't really understand.
This is very true.
Right. You definitely got to take care, because you got to take care of yourself first before you can expect anybody else to take care of you. So that's
Facts.
where that self-care portion comes in.
Well, let's talk about the self-care part. I was actually going to end with that, but since you started with that, and we'll get into the juicy part of your what you do. Um, Go over some self-care products that are popular, or maybe some things that people may not know that y'all offer in that category. Also, with us men as well, because I've asked you on plenty of occasions what y'all got for us. So you feel like diving into that a little bit as far as start with the women and end with the men, if you don't mind.
Okay, sure. So from our women's line, we have everything from the bath and body products. We have bubble baths, we have body sprays, body oils, we even have soaps, which most people do not know. We have our most popular soap is our Balance Bar. With our Balance Bar, with everything that we have for women, it definitely helps keep that pH balance in check. Um,
Talk something about the pH balance real quick.
the pH balance, like the balance off. And a lot of products outside of bedroom candy that most people use, like Dove, things like that, with all the chemicals that are in some of those items that you're using, it can throw off that pH balance for a woman. So, sometimes they may have some type of allergic reaction. With our products, they're all natural, they're vegan friendly. Um, we don't have like the chemicals that comes from all natural products. So we do have the soaps, we have candles. Of course, relaxation is amazing. The good
Oh
thing with
man, I love me some candles now.
yeah, the good thing with the candles is that you can burn our candles and then it turns into a body oil that you can actually massage into your skin. It has shea butter in it. So it is
Oh, it's
more,
lit.
yes,
Body
technically.
a candle to a body? I ain't never heard
It
that.
turns into a body oil, and you could just, it's like the right temperature so you don't burn your skin. Um, it turns into a body oil, and with that, it has like our pheromones in it. If you're not familiar with pheromones, what pheromones are is it is a natural elixir that mixes with your own body chemistry. So it gives you a distinct scent. So if you wear something from our line that has pheromones, let's say you go into the office, I don't like smelling like the next person. So this next person can have on that same exact item, but it's going to smell different. That's what a pheromone does. Is it
It's like an
goes,
enhancer or something?
it's like an enhancer,
Okay.
but mixes with your own body scent to give you your own particular smell. So if
Oh yeah,
I
like a unique smell, like
a
it's
unique
like your
smell,
natural smell,
your
in
natural smell,
conjunction with whatever the smell is.
exactly. So you're not
That's
gonna smell
tough. Okay.
you're not gonna smell like the next person next to you. So it
Right.
gives you your own smell. Also with the women, I mean men can use it as well. We have a CBD line. Like
Hmm.
we have a CBD body scrub, we have
Right.
CBD creams, um, moisturizers, I shouldn't say creams, but moisturizers. We also have the CBD candle. The CBD candle is great. You light it, and again, you can use the oil to rub into your skin. So if you have like achy joints, like me, I got my knees are not those mega knees anymore. So I use
Why do all black, well not all, I've heard a couple of black women always reference their needs to Megan Thee.
Man,
They the
Megan,
shit, huh?
Megan got some good knees. I ain't even gonna lie. Like I can't do all of that no more, but sometimes my knees do bother me, all jokes aside. And I use the CBD, like the CBD serum. You rub it
Hmm.
on, massage it in, and everybody knows CBD is a good relaxation for your muscles.
Right.
Um, so I also use the CBD bath salts to like soak in the bathtub. And it also has a lavender smell, so it definitely relaxes you, especially after a long day of work.
So,
Um,
do y'all have for the people that dislike lavender scent? Do y'all have other scents as well, or is that like the main and only
you
scent you
mean
got in that regard for the
for the
C?
CBD?
Yeah. Hmm.
The CBD is only going to be lavender.
Okay, gotcha.
It's going to have the lavender in it. But the candles come in different scents. Like we have a specific CBD candle,
Right.
and then we also have other candles that have different scents. If that
Okay.
if that's what you were asking.
Well, I mean, I was doing it for our, our listeners, our viewers.
Oh,
Everybody doesn't like lavender, so I mean, I like lavender, but I know some, some people that don't like it. So I was just asking.
of course, of course. Um, the Bath and Body products, that's the women's line. The men's line, of course, they can use any of the products that we have. It's not just specific to gender, right?
Right. Okay.
That's the thing that I like with our products. It's not just particular to one gender, but we do have a set line for the men that like the more masculine smells.
Right.
Uh,
Like
we,
myself.
like yourself, we have the it's called Eros. Eros is amazing. Smells great. But we do have like the beard oil for the men that comes in the
Oh, talk to us now. Talk to us.
the beard oil, and not only does it smell good, but it also moisturizes the beard. So it helps keep the beard nice, soft. Most people have a lot of coarse hair, but it
Hmm.
helps to soften up that hair for you. It's going to moisturize the skin so your skin is not dry. And it
Right.
also smells good. Like I call it the penny dropper because it just smells
Okay.
amazing.
I need to goddamn grab me a goddamn some items on that side. Okay.
It smells amazing. Outside of the beard oil, we also have what we call Sugar Daddy.
Hmm.
Sugar Daddy is an elixir. We have the Sugar Daddy is for the men, and we have hot cakes for the women.
Okay.
With this elixir, it definitely, you can put it in areas like where you have like chafing. Like most women use it like in between the thighs to keep the thighs nice and dry. They use it up under their breasts, but what it does is it does keep you dry, but it also keeps you smelling extra fresh. For the women,
Okay.
you'll smell like a cupcake. For the men, you have that Eros scent, which
Mm-hmm.
keeps you dry, but it also keeps that manly, not sweet, but it's a very masculine. It smells like, if I had to compare it, um, I would say the Chanel cologne is,
Okay.
if I compare it to something, it's very light and soft, but it's a great smell. Um, that also comes for men. That comes in body wash. It comes in the lotion and the body spray. So we do have the complete men's line as well. But like I said, you can still use any of the products, um, regardless of your gender or your preference. That's one of the good things that I like about the line. That's why I started doing it, because I have more of a range for all
Mm-hmm.
customers. It's not just for the women, it's not just for the men. Like, it mixes with the transgenders.
Mm-hmm.
It just works for everyone.
So pretty much it's universal. The line is universal as far as self care is concerned.
Yeah,
Whatever you're looking for, y'all got.
correct. I like to call it we are a lifestyle boutique.
Okay.
Meaning,
It's a
we you just can't
lifestyle.
yeah, you just can't put us in one category.
Okay,
Like,
y'all versatile in these streets. Okay, I like
exactly.
that. I like that.
Exactly. So you can't just put us in one category, because, like I said, we have stuff for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's pretty much like our self-care line. We also, oh, I forgot. For the women, we also have the cosmetic line, as
Okay.
well.
Cosmetics in these
So,
streets. Okay.
yes. So I like to say that I show you how to go from your boardroom into your bedroom.
Right.
So I can get you ready to be at the office and prepare you to be ready for your bedroom at night.
Well, that's a great segue. You feel me? Before we even get into that, I appreciate you providing that information because again, that's a lot of things that people are not aware of. As you mentioned at the beginning of the interview, people just think of sex toys, kinky shit, and all of the above, and y'all are much more like that. As you eloquently articulated, it's about a lifestyle with y'all, not just bedroom activity. But with the transition from the boardroom to the bedroom, I want to get into that conversation. But before we get into the specific details, I have a question for you. You being in this line of work for a while now, from your experience, what do you think um, is the drawback for women to I guess experiment with these type of things that we're about to get to, and also the pushback from men to indulge in the bedroom toys, so to speak, that y'all have.
Okay. So when it comes to toys and introducing it to someone that has never used a toy, their first thing is like, oh no, I don't need that. I don't need that, right?
Right.
The way that I present it to people, because I get that a lot when it comes to parties, and I love that question. So the way that I present it is I ask them, I'm like, do you know like how many different types of orgasms you can actually have? You're gonna know, right?
Right.
Nobody knows that answer. But most toys, people that sell toys or like me, we
Mm-hmm.
know that answer, right? There's internal,
Is there an answer? Is there
yes,
an answer? Okay.
there's more than one way to have an orgasm.
Okay, got you.
And a lot of people are not familiar with that. Like, all they know is sex is about penetration
Right.
or, oral sex. That's
Mm-hmm.
basically the two things that most people know.
Right.
So there are a lot of ways that you can pleasure yourself. So when it comes to introducing a toy to someone, I'm like, if you never had an orgasm, how do you expect somebody to give you an orgasm if you don't know what it feels like? You don't
Right.
know which area to hit. You don't know what you like until you try something. You know how most people say, don't knock it till you try it?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. So with toys, it basically takes you into different experiments and different pleasures that you've never really experimented or felt. And once people do that, they're like, oh, okay, so that's what it feels like if you hit this spot exactly right here. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
your partner might be missing that. Like, I can't teach my partner how to please me if I can't please myself.
Okay.
And
Preach real quick. Educate.
and I'm just saying, and that's where toys, that's where the biggest thing, that's where I feel like toys are important.
Right.
Like, you really need to understand your body, understand how it works. Like, your nerves, like on a woman's body, the nerves are found in the clitoris.
Mm-hmm.
There, I forgot the amount of nerves, but it is over 20 nerves in that clitoris. And there are certain angles that you can hit it where you get
Mm.
different sensations and different pleasures. So when you're using a toy is not just penetrating you in the inside.
Right.
Or like speaking to a woman, like, have you ever had your G spot massage? They don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay, let me get you one of these G spot toys. And you
G
go home,
spot. So okay.
you try this out, and you call me and let me know what your experience was. Like, I do ask for reviews of products from women
Right.
that have never used something. And I mean, I can't mention names and stuff like that. But
Of
anyway,
course. Right.
you are very discreet when it comes to things like that. But I've had a person who's never used a toy in her life. And at the party, we were talking about G spot stimulations. And she was so intrigued. And she's like, well, what do you recommend I should try? Okay, of course, I have my recommendations for you because I talk to you. I try to figure out what you like, what you don't like, get a feel for you before I make any recommendations. Like, I do that
Mm-hmm.
one on one as well. Come to find out, she did get her toy, and she's like, I've been missing out on life. What else can I try next?
Oh man, life. Okay.
So,
This is a whole experience. Okay.
it's an experience because a lot of
Yeah.
people, like I said, they're just used to that same thing. When it comes
Mm-hmm.
to a man is a very visual person.
Right.
Like, all men are very visual. So when you have a woman that is bringing a toy into the bedroom for the first time, he's intrigued just by watching you using this toy on yourself, right?
That's a nice little visual. I'm painting the picture. I got quiet because I'm painting the picture in my head. But yeah, yeah, yeah.
Paint the picture in
I'm
your head,
following you.
right?
I'm following
Because
you.
men are very visual. So if you walk in and your significant other is using a toy and you're seeing her different reactions and how her body is reacting to certain things, you're gonna be like, okay, I've never seen you do that with me or whatever. So now you're intrigued to see what she's gonna do next when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to a man. And that's the
Yes.
same thing with a woman using toys on a man. Like, we have toys, like I said, we have toys for everyone, for everything that you could think of that you may be into. The
Oh.
biggest is foreplay, right? A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people leave out foreplay when it comes to these sexual activities. They don't feel that it's important. A lot of people just want to get straight to it and that's
Mm-hmm.
it.
Right.
So here's an analogy when I talk about my toys, because I like to talk about our tease and please line, like our blindfolds, our paddles, our whips, right? I like to talk about things like that.
Oh,
And
whips. Okay. Well, I ain't on that side of things, but still dive into.
so let me tell you what, and I love that you gave that answer, right? So when people think of that, they think
Mhm.
of like painful type
This is
situation,
true. That's what I'm thinking of right now.
right?
Okay.
Most people think it's painful,
Right.
but duality, when you think about a blindfold, when you lose one of your senses, the rest of
And I'm
your
closing
senses,
my eyes. I'm closing my eyes. What's up? Let's
right?
go.
When you
Uh-huh.
lose one of your senses, the rest
Okay.
of your senses are heightened. So we have a blind
Facts.
from our dark desire collection. So what I like to tell people, right? Sometimes you got to try something new, right? You can't
Mm-hmm.
always do things the same exact way because you get bored.
Right.
Well, let me take that back. I get bored. I can speak for me. I get bored. That's why I
I'm
don't
sure a
work.
lot of people get bored, but they're
A
just
lot
used
of
to the
people get
same
bored.
thing and they don't even know that there's other things, surrounding the experience. So they're just used to that one, like you said, penetration, the getting right to it, the, what I mean, no foreplay. So they're not aware of all of these other activities that could enhance the experience.
Exactly. So that is where we come in to help,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
So introduce you to new things. Like I was talking about the blindfold. I talk about the blindfold because a lot of people they'll be like, I'm not no at all. But when you talk about it, like, have you ever thought about playing a game with your partner? Like
Now I would
you
try the blindfold though. I would try
right, you get
it. Mhm.
blindfolded. What I would do personally, I would blindfold my partner
Right.
and I would say, we're about to play this game.
Marco
And
Polo? No, I'm not playing.
like we about to play this. No, I'm just saying I would tell my
I know,
partner,
I know.
right? So we have edible items.
Uh-huh.
Edible things have different flavors.
Right.
We have lubes that have strawberry, we have blue raspberry, we have pomegranate, we have edible massage oils that come in watermelon, like different flavors and things. So a game that I would play with my significant other is I would blindfold them. And I would
Mm-hmm.
be like, okay, I've put 3 different flavors on my body. But the key is you got to find all 3 of these flavors while blindfolded and only using your tongue. That's a
That's very intriguing. Okay.
it's a great game. And most people, like I said, most people don't try that. But
Mm-hmm.
the secret is like I probably really only have 1 flavor on me, but I told you I have 3. But it's just
Right.
fun that you have to find these 3.
Mm-hmm.
Little game. Something different, something to start the foreplay, because most people don't know how to initiate foreplay,
Right.
right?
A lot of people just lazy too.
That is true. That is true. Like, and I just be like, okay, so let me help you out. Like, people have been married and been in relationships long term, not because they do things the same exact way every single time. Like, most successful relationships are due to the fact that you try something new, that you're not just doing the same thing over and over and over. Because men, I feel, get bored first. They get bored real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a woman, you need to figure it out, or you need to introduce new things, and that's where the toys come in. Like just introducing something different. Like
Right.
some men, I like to say, men are like microwaves,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
You can hit
Expound.
you can hit one button on a man or touch him one way, and it's heated up, right? Do you agree?
Yeah, this can be very true. This can be very true.
That could be very true.
Mm-hmm.
Women, on the other hand, we are like ovens. We need to be preheated. We just don't heat up everything. No, a woman needs to be preheated. And that's where a lot of our products help people out with people that are not professionals. I'm not going to say professionals, but are not as experienced in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
So even outside of the toys, the blindfolds, things like that, we have books. We have a knowledge section.
Okay.
Okay. We have books. We have books to teach a woman how to properly massage a penis and pleasure a penis. We have books on how to properly do anal if you into that. We have books on how to properly turn on a woman and turn on a man.
Mm-hmm.
So our job is to educate people in that bedroom. So it's all about your preference and how open you are with your consultant for them to make the proper recommendations for you. Like we really go one on one with our clients.
So
So
with that, right? Is it like okay, the consultation, so to speak? Is that like a Zoom? Is it like Like, do you do this like pre-party? Do you like what's the setup? You know what I mean? Like, is it like goddamn like you inquiring about the lawyers, that kind of like not, you know, of course that's a different dynamic, but you feel what I'm saying? But like the same setup type shit. Of course you're not in the office talking about
Oh,
legal shit, but you get what I mean.
of course. Right. So you can do it, you base it on your client.
Right.
So I have people that will send me a text message and we communicate through text. I have people that like to pick up the phone and talk to me and talk me through what they're looking for, what they're trying to achieve. I've done Zoom parties. I've done virtual Zoom parties. I've done virtual one-on-ones like me and you are talking now, where we
Right.
can set up a Zoom and we'll have a conversation. We'll show different items and things of that nature. So it all depends on the client, but it can be done in any avenue, any stream of communication.
Okay. So how these parties, since you
Let's talk
brought
about.
that up, um, what is your process and what are the steps to getting a party together and what are like expectations, I guess, or what is your strategy with these parties?
All right. So with the parties, like you can book the parties directly on my website. Of course, you can always reach out to me directly if you have like
Mm-hmm.
my contact. I've gotten parties from social media platforms, and basically we have a conversation. I'll reach out to you. We'll talk. I'll get to know like, okay, what are we doing? Is it a birthday party? Is it a bachelorette party, girls' night, couples? Because we can do couples parties as well, which I've
Mm-hmm.
done before. With the couples party, it's usually like an informational session where people want to learn different things, different positions, or they want to learn different things. So it is a conversation at first so that you get the type of party that you're looking for. Some
Right.
people want like a pamper party. They don't want to deal with the actual toy side of it, which is
A
fine.
pamper party. Okay.
Yep, we call it a pamper party.
See, y'all didn't even know that was out there. Pamper party for the ones that just want to be pampered. Okay.
Yes, we'll do like a pamper party. That'll be their theme. With the pamper party, we bring basically our bath and body products. We call it our soft lines, basically
Mm-hmm.
everything that's not X-rated. We
Right.
would bring that party and we'll show you how to pamper yourself or pamper your partner. So that's what we call pamper parties. Um, we've had, of course, the bachelorette parties are always a hit. We've had dungeon theme parties where we bring out the whips, the chains, the sex
Oh,
swings, the
it's lit in those. It's lit. Dungeon.
dungeon party. Yes. So
I
it
think
all
I've
just,
seen a flyer of one of those you had put up before.
yes. So and that was when COVID hit,
Yeah.
a lot of people were not having like in-person parties. So a lot of the bedroom candy consultants started doing virtual parties where we would do a
Mhm.
Zoom and it
Right.
would just virtually. And it was a lot of fun. But I will say with the parties, the first step is booking it online or directly through your consultant or myself. And then we have
Mhm.
that conversation. So the party is geared to what you're trying to accomplish. Like we don't charge for parties. So there's nothing that you pay for a party. There's,
Really? Okay.
it's a free party. We don't have like, I
So,
don't,
so are you paying for like the ambiance versus the parties, like the stuff, or is you know what? Go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted. I jumped the gun. It's like this is a lot of information.
no,
Like,
no. I'm gonna answer
okay,
that
go ahead.
question. So we don't charge you. We don't charge you to come out and do a party for you,
Right.
right? So the client would be responsible for, of course, getting your guests there,
Hmm.
your food, your drinks. Like you're
So
responsible
it's
for
like
everything.
your party, but y'all are coming to it.
We come, we bring our items, we talk about our items, and from there, of course, you're going to generate sales from that party. So we don't require any type of minimum that has to be done. For the
Hmm.
most part, the only thing that I tell my clients is like, okay, we having this party. The only thing that I expect is for people to be engaged into the party, bring their questions, don't be shy, participation. And it's just a fun night. We make it fun. And
Hmm.
from there, you generate what you generate. But it's fun. It's a learning experience, I would say, for most. But I haven't had any bad reviews. My parties are
Hmm.
always great. So that's how that
Oh,
goes.
so you're a great addition to a party, or just throwing a pamper party versus a dungeon party versus a just a so okay. Speaking of parties, okay, let's stay on this party subject, right? What give me like a scenario to a party that not necessarily got out of hand, but y'all were crazy lit versus like a tempered down party. You know what I mean? Like, what are like some? Do you have any stories that you care to share? Of course, we're not naming no names, but
Of
you can
course
speak
not.
about situations.
I
You
would
know,
never name names. But yes, I've had some wild parties. I've done it was a pajama party. It
okay.
was an all women pajama party. And apparently they didn't tell the mom the memo of pajamas and
Hmm.
what she was supposed to wear. So we were all downstairs like partying. We have games. We play games at these parties. Of course, the games are tied into different products that we have. But again, it's all about knowing the audience first. You definitely got to know the audience so you don't overstep any boundaries or make anyone feel uncomfortable. But
Hmm.
this particular party, it was a pajama party. Every woman there they were open minded. They had all their questions. So, pajamas, we are in our onesies, right? The mom of the lady that I was throwing the party for, now keep in mind, this is the mom. So, the mom has to be about in her late 60s, maybe in her 60s, late 50s, early 60s.
Oh, okay.
She
What
comes
she had?
down the stairs. She came down the stairs in just her bra and panties.
She was
Like
ready.
the entire room just froze because we didn't know what, like, everybody else is in the onesie pajamas. And she's like, you know what? This is what I wear to bed. So let's keep the party going. She participated in every single game that I played. Sometimes you do run into people that don't want to play the games. Now the games can,
Boo.
like
Don't come
party
to one of these parties, don't play the games.
fun snatchers. Like I do the game where you wrap a fruit roll up around a cucumber
Hmm.
and you have to get this entire fruit roll up off of this cucumber just with your mouth, chew it up, swallow it. That's the game. I have a game where you have to get in your favorite position with a partner to pop a balloon. So it's all about knowing your audience. But yes, the parties can go from the little pampering to
Hmm.
the three XXX rated, depending on how your audience is.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
it's all fun, definitely all fun.
yeah. So, okay, wild party. What was like the most boring party you can think of you had? You know what I mean? Of course, not the pampering. I'm talking about on the sexual side. What was like, you was like, this is kind of dull. I gotta do what I can to liven this up as best as I can.
So it's always the parties where they have other things going on at the party. Meaning, like, I did a party where I was set up and I'm thinking I was the only person there.
Hmm.
But party, she had people coming in doing poetry readings. She had a masseuse come in. She had strippers coming in. So nobody was paying attention to nothing that
So
was
it was a
going on.
lot, there was quite a lot of activity going on. Okay.
It was a lot of activity, uh, too much activity, too much. She had
Hmm.
more of performers and performances than she did people at the actual party.
Interesting. Okay.
There, oh my God, I was so mad because it was an out of state party and we
Right.
discussed everything before I did this traveling. So that's another thing. Like I like to travel with and go to different areas outside of my own. But yeah, I had traveled when I say boring, yes, I'm just sitting there like I'm trying to talk to people about the products. Nobody's paying me no attention at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Right.
like I'm sitting there literally like, okay, I don't know what to do at that point. So I did end up packing up my stuff and I left.
How long did you stay?
I think I stayed for about first off, first off, it depends on how you want to count the time because it was supposed to start at 7 o'clock.
Right.
As a consultant, when I go and I set up for a party, I like to get there between 15 to 20 minutes before the actual start time so I can set up and be
Right.
ready to start at 7. On her flyer, she said starting promptly at 7 o'clock. That party did not, or guests did not start arriving until 8. So I had already been there for an
Oh
hour.
Lord. What was it one of us? It was our kind real
Of
quick.
course it
Oh
was.
Lord.
Like,
We get on some bullshit sometimes. Go ahead. They
and
were
I'm
close.
an hour later. Oh, and that's another thing. She also had a chef.
Mm-hmm.
So of course I had to pay for, my plate or whatever. That's fine, no big deal. But there was no place to sit to like eat your food.
Right.
Like you had to stand up and eat. And then they were charging for soft drinks
Soft
at the
drink.
yeah,
Not
like
real drinks, but just like soda and shit like that.
yeah, right.
That's wild. Okay.
Even a bottled water, they were charging you for that. And the thing was, you would think that it would have been at like an event location because that's how she advertised it.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually like an apartment,
Okay.
like a one bed. No, not okay. Not, not, not okay at all. A one bedroom apartment, and you have all these performers, and I'm in here with a table setting up stuff, and I'm just like,
I hope she was on the bottom floor.
oh yeah, she was on the bottom floor, but there were so many steps to walk to get to the bottom.
Oh man.
So I had already lugged all of my products in. What needless to say, I sent her a very long message the next day. And I told her, I'm sorry, I'm not the consultant for you. Please don't request me. I'm not doing that. And I told her, I'm like, when you book a party, we come to party. Like we come to show our items. Our
Right.
goal is to generate sales because this is a commission based thing. So
Right.
no, don't charge you for us to show up, but we want the common courtesy at least of your
Right.
guests paying attention to what's going on. But yeah, I didn't do not another party for her. I could tell you that much.
I would hope not.
Mm-mm.
So what are some myths or some misguided information that the average Joe like myself may have when it comes to toys or your line of work? Like, what are some common things that like a person ignorant to what you do and what you offer? Like, what are some like ignorant type of questions that you get commonly, or just things that, oh, okay, like I've known, well, I don't know personally, but I've heard, of course, how some men don't, they feel not, they feel intimidated or they feel some type of way. Like, you know how you said when the point is if you see your partner, pleasing themselves or whatever, that's supposed to stimulate you and make you want to join in, or you learn some shit like, oh shit. But there's a lot of men that be like, you don't need that shit. I can do it better. You know what I mean? Like, how often have you come across like shit like that?
All the time. All the time. And I have a friend actually that she told me that her boyfriend made her throw away every single toy that she owned.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what did he pay? Like, toys are not cheap, first off, especially if you buy in quality.
That's rude.
It's rude, but a lot of men,
That's
a lot of feel like just what you said, like, you don't need that. You got me. You don't need that. You got me. But in actuality, a lot of men cannot give or have not given a woman an orgasm.
You know, I call them men. These are selfish bedroom individuals. I feel like I'll be honest. I gotta speak on behalf of the men. I'm very aware, of course, but of course, I'm still a man at the end of the day. A lot of men do not understand that if the woman is pleased, no matter what method that she's pleased in, of course, mine is another individual if you're not into that type of shit. But that makes the experience much better for you. It's a team effort. It's a collaborative effort. So now, why not
It,
be open to the suggestions, the toys, the education that you've been providing on this episode? Why not? I don't
it's
understand
exactly my point.
it.
So with people like that, when I get that, because I get that all the time. Men are just, I don't know if it is a intimidation, like they're gonna feel like they're no longer needed,
Mm-hmm,
or if they just don't like the way that this toy is making their woman react, or their, let me say, partner react.
mm-hmm. There you go.
Um, yeah, I'll
I
say
think
partner.
it's more of an ignorance type of approach. Like they don't understand the concept of what it's supposed to allow for you two or three or whatever the fuck y'all got going on.
Exactly. So toys are not a replacement, they are an enhancer, is what I like to say. Because if you get like a couple's toy,
Mm-hmm.
introduce them to a couple's toy. I would say, I always tell them, listen, you need to try this couple's toy out. Once you try this couple toy out, I guarantee you, and this, and I tell my people that say that, I say, go home, get this toy, go home and try this with your partner. If your partner does not enjoy it, I will give you a refund. That's how confident I am in this
Right.
type of thing. And it's just like you said, it's the ignorance behind it, or the fact that a lot of people, I'm not going to say just men, but even when it comes to a woman
Mm-hmm.
pleasing a man, they feel like, oh, I got it in the bag. Like, oh, he don't complain, or he doesn't, you know what I'm saying? I no, I don't need that. I don't need that. We don't, nah. And I just be looking at them like, okay, that's what you think. That's what you think. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Right.
Like I met a person where it was the woman and she was like, oh no, I don't need to use I think it was lubricant. She bought a toy, our male pleasure sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
It's 100% silicone, body safe silicone. And I'm like, okay, you need to get a lube to go with it so that it glides just amazingly, right? Oh no, 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 no. That's what spit is for. Like,
What? Oh, even with you explaining it, that just make it just sounds like you need to get some lubrication to go with that to make the experience more pleasurable. Like it just, but you know what? Common sense is not that common, so you know that's unfortunate.
but even if you do want to use, which I mean, yes, you can definitely use the spit. That's perfectly fine.
You
However,
want to,
what
but what's the
I'm
point of
telling
getting
what I am exactly what I'm telling you is, okay, you're right here right now. I'm trying to take you up here. So just
it?
listen
Mm-hmm.
to what I'm saying and try it out. So I had little sample packs of this
Right.
lube. I was like, okay, take two of these. You go home and try it both ways and let me know. That
Mm-hmm.
next day, she's like, do these come in a big bottle? Oh, now you believe me. It's just that people don't want to try new things. They're just stuck in the way that they do things. And they're kind of like, if it's not broke, why try to fix it? But you're actually missing out on things.
So do you think so? For the men, is more of oh, I can please her better, or she doesn't need that, or like in the instance, like you said, you get rid of all your toys. For the women, more so it's, oh, I'm just used to the same thing. Like, or we're just used to the same thing, or what we got going on is good enough. He doesn't complain. Is that kind of like a lot of what you see? I know, of course, it's other situations, but as far as the most common drawbacks from either side.
For the majority, yes. That's what we always hear. It from my experience, I've been doing this for 8 years now with Bedroom Candy.
I know it's been a minute, but that's
Yeah, and
okay.
that's just Bedroom
You a
Candy
vet in it.
alone,
You in
right?
this vet. You a vet in this game for real.
Like how can you not take my advice? Like
Right. You know what the fuck you talking about.
my advice. But I say that, but yes, you're right. That statement, what you just said, is exactly what I always hear. And
Hmm.
that is where I have to like open up their minds. And like when I show demonstrations of things, that's one of the things where another thing that people are just, I don't know, their mind just goes, they're automatically thinking I'm doing a whole sex scene or something like that. But when I show these demonstrations of how to use toys and what these toys can do and how they can affect your pleasure zones, then their minds start going. But
Hmm.
most people, like you said, they're not educated enough to understand, like, I didn't get this toy to pleasure me. I actually got this toy to enhance your pleasure. It just
Right.
happened to be pleasuring me at the same time.
Hmm.
And a lot of people don't think like that.
Yeah. I mean, you know what's crazy about it, right? And this is just my observation about this topic in general, not necessarily what you do, but when it comes to sex, the sexual experience. Most, if not all of us enjoy it, love to engage in it, but one, don't want to talk about it, and two, don't want to try shit. So how are you so much into something, but you're not open to all of the possibilities that could possibly work for you? I just don't get it. Like it's like getting a business. Oh, if I have an opportunity to get another line of business that works for me, why am I going? Or if I'm
What
not going to put, like, why not improve? Isn't that what? Isn't life about self improvement?
it is. It definitely is. It's about growing and improving. And that's basically what I do. Like show you how to grow and improve it. Like try something different. That's basically what it is. Like you have to open up your mind. You have to be open-minded to try things. Now, when you're with your partner, of course you have certain things. Y'all have already had that discussion, like what you're into. I hope that you've had these conversations
Yeah,
with
you I
your
would
partner.
hope. You would hope. You know, again, Thomas is not that common.
Like,
You would think these would be discussions, but that's a conversation for another day.
that you have those type of conversations. And that's another thing when it comes to sexual things. Communication is very big in that aspect.
Mm.
Like communication is one of the most important things when it comes to anything sexual is communication. Because
Communication. Can I also add paying attention?
paying attention,
Communication and paying attention.
communication, paying attention, getting to know your partner. Those are the
Hmm.
three top things to really build a bond and build a strong sexual relationship with your partner.
Right.
Even like just, non-sexual, it's the same thing. You still need to communicate.
Hmm.
You still need to understand them. They need to understand you.
It's all the same thing, just different forms of, the relationship aspect of whatever y'all got going on.
That's
There's the
it.
sexual side, and like you said, the non-sexual side. The
That's
same things apply.
same things apply. Same things apply. And sometimes, like me personally, I speak for me personally.
Right.
I enjoy like body massages,
Hmm.
but you have to, my partner wouldn't know that unless I communicated with him.
Right.
Like, one of the things, like, like I said, you may not be a masseuse, but I can teach you and show you different things that you can use that your partner would think, oh, you went to school to learn this just from my product line. But
Right.
that goes to say, like, It's just trying new things, like
Being
being open
open.
to
There you go.
learn,
Hmm.
basically. Like, why not enhance the skill set that you already have to make yourself better?
You know what? A lot of times it is too, and a lot of people that may not want to hear this or be open about this. You may not even like your person like that. You know what I mean? Like you may not. You may not like your person like that. You may just got there just be with them, just to be with them, and then like, yeah, we gotta do this shit just because we gotta do it. So what the
But
fuck? You know what I'm saying?
guess where that comes from though? That comes from not communicating in the beginning.
This is true.
Because
Communication is not a skill set that's practiced often.
exactly. Like, if
Hmm.
you don't communicate, you don't get to know what that person likes, what they don't like. That's basically what it is. Like, if you are a person that wants to go to Canada every 5 weeks, I may not like that, but if I don't communicate with you, you'll never know.
Hmm.
And that is basically the gist or the baseline, the foundation on how you build a strong relationship with anybody is that
Hmm.
communication.
Talk soon, Miss D. Talk soon.
Just saying, like, that's my job to educate. But yeah, like, it's a lot of things that I wish that more people would be open with, right?
Hmm.
Especially when it comes to your significant other. Like, this is a person that I would hope that you should be able to share like your deepest, darkest secrets with,
Right.
depending on how long. Yeah, don't go out here sharing your
On the
darkest
first
secrets.
date. Hey,
Don't do, don't do that. But I'm just saying, like, getting to know
hey, when
that
I was 5, goddamn, this this
you
was
may not get you may not get a second date if you share too much. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, yes. So, like, next time that I do a party, I'm definitely going to record it, like a live video, and I'll show you. I'll send it to you so you can see how the party actually goes.
okay. So you gave a lot of great information. A lot of education was provided during this episode or this pod or whatever. My question to you, because it does sound like you are very into what you do, and I feel like to provide the best product service, you have to be passionate about it. So, with that being said, what made you get involved with this, and when did you know you were passionate about
So I've been in the selling the sex toys since before I moved to the South, and I was in 2000. I moved down south in 2010. Prior to
it? Right.
that, I was with a different company and I was with them for 3 years. So I've been
Okay.
doing it for a very long time. But what made me get into it is that I was like, personal story.
Okay.
You meet people and they talk a good game about their sex game.
And those be the ones that ain't shit. That's what I'm saying. Motherfuckers that be talking that shit like they about to goddamn tear the walls out the frame. They ain't shit.
So that's literally what made me. I met this guy. This was years back, like
Hmm.
years ago. And he had that ego to where I'm the best at this and I'm the best at that and da 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 da. And I ended up trying out my very first sex toy while I was with him.
Right.
And that's when I learned, well, dang, he didn't make me feel like that. Or when I got done having sex with him, I'm still going to my toy because you're not pleasing me in the
Oh yeah,
way.
you need to finish up like you thought it was gonna happen. I need to finish up. I need to get right.
Exactly. So I wasn't with him, long at all. But that's what honestly got me into sex toys. And then as it progressed over the years, I met so many different women, like from all backgrounds. Like, I met women that had been traumatized, as kids, going through traumatic experiences sexual experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got into it, at first, yes, it was about the sexual pleasure. But then when you get to like an underlying cause of what you can do to help someone get through those traumatic experiences and how to help them build up their confidence back,
Mm-hmm.
that's what drove my passion into it. Because
Okay.
sexual abuse takes away so much from anybody,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's kind of like you have to learn how to love yourself all over again.
Right.
And that's what a toy line can do. That's what my pamper products can do. It teaches you how to love on yourself.
Right.
And I think that was the biggest thing that drove me to keep doing what I'm doing, because
Mm-hmm.
you'll be surprised at how many people you come across that have dealt with something like that, to where they're in a shell and they don't know how to get out of it, and they don't know how to take that next step to recover from that process.
Okay.
So,
That makes a lot of sense.
yeah, teaching that self-care and teaching people how to love on their own bodies, so that, because like I say, I can't teach somebody how to love me if I can't love me.
Right.
So,
Facts.
and you can't teach, and to go like the sexual route, you can't teach anybody how to please you if you don't know how to please yourself.
Mm-hmm. Like
So,
the old cliche, if you ain't good for yourself, you're not gonna be good for nobody else. And you're there to help to bring everything full circle.
exactly. And that is why I've been in this line of business for so long. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
have the clientele that I have, based off of, it's not just about me making money or about me making a sale to somebody. It's about me actually helping somebody. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't look at it like I'm helping them, but that's where I get my passion for it.
I love the answer. Love it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, what I like to do on my podcast is I always want to bring it back to life, the human element of things. Of course, I love to have fun. I love to kick the shit or whatever, but I always like to bring it back. You know what I mean? Like we went full circle with this whole conversation. But Ms. D, I truly enjoyed you coming on the podcast today. I appreciate the time. Before we get up out of there, out of here, I'm sorry. Do you wish to provide your handles or where people can find you on social media, your product, all of the above? Mind
Of
providing that
course,
information?
of course. So my IG, my business IG is irresistibly chic. It is spelled IRRESISTIBLY_chic. That's my Instagram. You can see a lot of my products and demonstrations on there.
Link in the
Uh,
bio.
Link in the bio. Of course, you click the link, takes you straight to the website. If you have questions, of course, you can always DM me on there. But also on my website, it'll give you more contact information. So that is that. But that is my main stream that I go, is my Instagram when it comes to the business.
All righty. Well, again, thank you. And I truly enjoyed this conversation. It was very educational and it was really needed. These are conversations that people don't have a lot and they're very interested in having. So for anyone that tuned in, again, subscribe, like, and I hope you enjoyed that. Anyone can talk, but everyone can't podcast. With that being said, yeah.